Hi, I'm Simon Rushton and this is Taxi Chronicles podcast. On this podcast, we spontaneously interview unsuspecting passengers with their permission, allowing them to share their intimate life stories and concerns. As our slogan states, real riders, real stories. Some riders prefer to be anonymous, while others ask me to tell their story later on. Either way, there are all genuine 5 to 10 minutes stories, so sit back and enjoy this episode. Good day. Yes, we're back with another nice lady here. It's anonymous today. She's a nanny and an entrepreneur. She's going to tell her how her experience of being a nanny has, and then we're going to roll on to entrepreneur. We're just going to have a general chit chat and see how it goes. So first of all, how did you start off getting into the nanny? What made you want to do nannying?
Well, I had a childcare degree when I was younger, and I always wanted to be a dancer, but my mum said get some experience behind you, like have a job that there's always going to be a need for it. So I went to childcare, worked my way up, and then decided that I'd reached my point, and then I went to work for the NHS. And then I decided 5 years later, I had enough, didn't want to go to work all the time.
What did you do with the NHS?
I did lots of things. So I started off as a healthcare assistant, then a physician assistant who takes bloods. Then I worked as a patient flow, so dealing with the breaches, the 4-hour targets, and then eventually a capacity manager, which is dealing with the discharges, making people get discharges and any problems with that. And then I basically decided I had enough, wanted to go travelling, and I didn't have the money to do it, so the best way to do it was do what I love, looking after children, and go and see the world.
So how's that been the last 6 months? You said you've been away and stuff. What was that like?
It's been an amazing experience because I've seen so many different places, and whilst people were locked down, I got the chance to travel even though other people weren't. But it's also been quite stressful. Like, I can understand how a mum can have mental health issues or find it difficult, whereas before I didn't. I used to think it was easy, and everyone used to tell me, oh, when you have your own children you'll understand, you'll think differently. And I was like, no, I've got the expertise, I know what I'm doing. But yeah, now my mind has definitely been changed, and I can completely understand how hard it is for some mums out there.
Would you say it's hard because of the Western or the British family structure system? Because in other cultures, it's not just the mum's left with the child. She's got her sisters and nieces and cousins and maybe nephews. So everybody takes her like an hour or half a day, and the mum can thing. But in this culture, it's just you and the baby.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's definitely played a part in it. You are literally with that child, and you're responsible for that child. So you can't take your eye off the ball, especially with a 2-year-old. You can't take your eye off the ball because he's into everything. So, and the fact that if you need that support, having that time to just go and have a shower, or to talk to someone else that's not
think of that, or bathroom break.
Yeah, exactly, like just anything, just to have 5 minutes to yourself where someone's not saying your name, or like mum, or that needs you 24/7, and that's what it's all about.
The baby calls you mum?
No, but I'm saying from a mum's point of view.
Okay.
But they do, yeah, he does call me my name.
Okay. So what is it like? Tell us a story about how the pressure builds up, kind of how you handle it.
Well, it's difficult because some children are really easy, and he is a really good baby, but there was a couple of times where he wouldn't sleep, and so that crucial time where they're sleeping gives you a little bit of time for yourself, whereas when he wasn't sleeping, you're stressing out because you're like, oh, he's not sleeping, but then actually you need to take a step back and think, right, I'm stressing myself out here because he's not sleeping, get him up and do things with him, because otherwise you get in that cycle. So and also you don't get that break, so it is very hard. So
you sleep when he sleeps, really?
Not sleep, but you get to have that time out, you get to have that quiet period where you just have, like, you need to do what you need to do. But for some people, I know that by the time they sleep, you're then cleaning up the mess from the morning, and you're doing the washing up from like lunch or something like that.
You have to do all that as well, don't you?
I don't know. They had people that did that, but that for a normal mum, that could be one of the pressures.
Okay, but in the nannying industry, what's the deal? Because surely, if you're a mum and you've had a child, you've hired somebody to help you or assist you. You don't want them to do 110% of the role. You want to be the mum, or is that not the case?
It's difficult because I think.
A pause.
Yeah, because it's difficult because they have to work, but also they do have their free time and they want to do things for themselves. So it's easy when you've got money. You can pay someone to look after your child and do the things that you don't want to do. Like, so for instance, in my situation, I would feed the child, dress the child, and then the mum and dad would take him for a little while. Like, they'd do something with him.
For an hour or so? Just
yeah,
that?
just for like an hour or so, and then come back. It's just as and when they need me, but sometimes it would be a full-on day.
Oh, sometimes they would take them a full-on day?
No, I mean it would be a full-on day for me where I'd have them from like 9 o'clock in the morning till 10:30 at night.
So they're not really bonding with their child then?
It's difficult, they are, but they're missing those crucial bits where putting them to sleep and like nappy changes and those crucial moments that I think the bonding and the attachment really happens.
What I'm getting at here is I sense, and obviously people can't see your facial expressions, is that there's a real, just because these kind of people are more focused on their careers than they are on their children. Would you say that's fair to say?
I think it's difficult. Yes, they are, but you could also see the love that they had for their child. Like that was blatantly obvious. Like even though they spend a short amount of time with them, you could see the joy and happiness that child brought them. But for small kids. You know
what I'm looking at, because I look at the other end of a spectrum, being from council estates, where you've got a mum with like, I don't know, 5 kids, but everybody's interacting and having a good time, and there's a bond, and you know each other, and then that money comes into the equation, or career, and everything, that's just kind of gone, if you see what I mean. And it's just making me think that does it ever feel like that these rich people, why have children if you can't commit 100, even 50% of the time?
It's really difficult. I do think that it does frustrate me, because I do think, why have you've got this amazing child in front of you, why do you not want to spend all your time with them? Mm-hmm. But then I do see the other side of it, of like they do have their jobs, they do want time for themselves, they do want to live life, you know, and they've got the opportunity to do that. So it's really, yes, it does come down to that. I do think that, but then also you have to look at it from their side of the point of view. And I also hate judgment on people. I think each to their own. Like I do, we all have our judgments.
Okay.
But I think each to their own, and everyone has their own way of doing things, and they're lucky enough to have what they've got, and that's the way they live.
Mhm. Okay, that's fair enough. I like your style of thinking. Entrepreneurial wise, you said you're an entrepreneur.
I am indeed.
So tell us about that.
In the making. So I am a coach. I have just trained in rapid transformational therapy, which is a type of therapy that if you've had limiting beliefs and they stem from your childhood, it takes you back to, it's like a form of hypnotherapy, CBT and NLP, and it takes you back to those experiences as a child and rewrites the interpretation that you had from those meanings that you gave themselves, that gives you limiting beliefs, which will then help you with your confidence and your performance and helps you to fast track to success. So I've just trained in that, and I've also just signed up for a new dating service that we're going to be launching very soon. Called the 730 Club. It's not mine, it's someone else's. She was dating in her 40s, she got fed up of the dating apps, so she's now launching this new membership service for people that are single, that want to find love without the horrible apps, as we say. So we're working on that behind the scenes, and it also gives people like a chance to have coaching as well, to help them have the skills to find love.
But that's still going to be an app though, isn't it?
It's not an app, no. It's a website that they go to. They have a profile on the website, and they cannot have no online communication. They then go to an event, like a dinner date, where they can sign up to go to that event, where they meet that person, and then if they like that person, they can talk to the people.
You know what would be an idea? Speed dating on a website, on a Zoom.
It's so kind of that concept. But
think of it, because of the social distancing, what you do, you get like Zoom calls set up and you get a minute to talk to, or 2 minutes, whatever it is, to talk to someone opposite, just directly opposite. And then if you don't like them, you just press next. Well, you just don't have to do anything, you just go on.
Well, they've got a feature on Zoom where you can come out, you can go into a secret group and then you can come out when it ends. It has a timer on it. So that would be a perfect idea, especially when the government have just brought in the new rule of only 6. Socialising with 6 people.
I'm not worried about the government. I'm sorry, I just don't care.
Yeah, but with events, it's making it very difficult to launch with us with this new thing.
Yeah, I don't listen
and especially
to
when he's just brought it in.
Says, yeah. But,
let's not talk politics.
So going back to this kind of, it's like maybe the term brainwashing is quite strong, but you're reprogramming people. How long was that course?
Well, it's an online course, but it basically it took me 24 hours to do, but over a period of time, and it's intensive.
Have you tried it on anyone yet? Or?
I have actually. I tried it on a guy that had anxiety.
Anxiety about what? Swimming or?
No, just going out in general in life. He was scared to go out, and he was worried about a lot of things, and he had these side effects like headaches and this thing affecting in his throat. It would be all dry.
But if he's an adult and he's got anxiety, that means he's dealt with it as a child, or he must have had it as a child,
or something that has happened brought it on.
Okay.
An experience that he had might have brought it on.
As an adult
and as a young child.
Because what I'm thinking is we're all born as babies and we play around and do whatever we do. So unless he's had that from birth.
I believe that during your childhood, up until you're 7 or 8 years old, things happen and people form beliefs and you get things from your parents. People put ideas into your head or they tell you something that then you form as a belief in yourself.
I know what you're saying.
And then that affects you later on in life. Or like that experience or a trauma or something like that will affect the way you feel.
There's a saying that goes, give me the child and I'll tell you what kind of man he will be by the time he's 7. I can't remember who the Greeks were saying that. They said because you can shape a child how you want to be.
Yeah, I really believe that. I really believe that the early childhood years are so important, up until they're 5 and then also 7 to 8.
Mm-hmm.
And the attachment that they form with their parents will also determine how you are as an adult and the relationships you form.
Okay, that's interesting. Alright, so you've had a varied career so far. You've gone from NHS, it was all caring. You see, you're a nice person. Even your entrepreneurial things about caring, it says a lot about you as a person. What's your ultimate goal? What's the ultimate impact you want to have on the world?
I want to make a positive impact on the world. Like, I want to help people change their lives. I want them to be able to have freedom without sacrifice, because I think that's been a big part in my life. Like, I have concentrated so much on my career, I've given up other things. And also I just want to help people. I love helping people, and the ultimate goal is freedom. I want to have enough money in the bank to not have to worry about anything. And I just and be able to provide for my child when I decide to have a child. Okay. And I just want to be able to travel the world and experience life for what it is.
What would you say to somebody who wants to be a nanny, a younger version of you? What would you say they have to know? And would you encourage them to do it as well?
Definitely. I think it's the most rewarding job you could have. Looking after a little child and being part of their life and how they develop is amazing. I'd say you'd have to have patience. And I'd have to say that you have to choose, make sure you've got boundaries. That's one of the biggest lessons that I learned, is that I wanted to please people too much. And when I went into the job, I should have said, these are my boundaries, like X, Y, and Z, and these are my skills. Don't try to be good at everything, just have your skills that you are good at.
What kind of boundaries would those be?
Time boundaries, like the hours that you're prepared to work. Boundaries, don't try to people please, like do everything for them. Have boundaries, like, and don't say yes, like no, is it going to benefit you, but also is it going to help them? Like, the more you help people, the more rewards you get out of life. But boundaries, time boundaries, and knowing when to say no. Don't try to take on too much.
Would you have done the NHS route as well?
Oh, definitely, 100%. Like, that changed my life, like working for the NHS. I've seen so many things, because I worked in the emergency department, I've seen so many things that made me realise that life is too short.
It's all paediatric, yeah?
No, this was adults. I worked, because I went off in a different route for a little while, because I wanted to be a psychologist eventually, but then I changed my mind.
You can still do it.
Yeah, but this rapid transformational therapist is kind of everything that I wanted to do as well. So
because that is like a psychiatrist in essence, but you're just using apparatus, or like, rather than just trying to be a mental kind of thing. If you see what I mean, you can see I'm not a psychiatrist by my articulation. Yeah.
But I'm still doing that, and I don't have to go to university. Like, I've gone to university and I've done a psychology degree. I was doing a master's because I then wanted to go on and do the doctorate. But I've decided I don't want to go that way and get into more debt. I can do it this way, and I can earn more money and have my own business. So I've decided to do it that way instead of working for the NHS.
Yeah, that's the same thing I told my daughter. I said, you only go to uni if you have to get a degree that's going to help you in your career. But many other things, like what you're saying, you could spend 27 grand, 9 grand a year to do another degree in being a
Psychologist.
Thank you, psychologist. Or you could do this 24-hour course and still getting paid at the end of the day by people, and then build up your experience. Whether you get paid as much at the end of the day, I don't know, but at least you're getting on real-time experience, and you don't have to jump through loads of hurdles in that respect of things. So you do it all again. You've gone through the NHS, and you're happy with everything you've done in life, and you've got a smile on your face even now.
Yeah, no, I am happy, but I've got a month off now, because obviously I'm going to really be thinking about what it is that I want to do and what angle I'm going to concentrate on one thing and actually go for it, because happiness is important, very important to me.
Do you see yourself staying in a nanny business? It sounds exhausting.
No, I don't. No, that's not my lifetime goal. It was my goal to get enough money behind me to then support myself, to be able to go off and do the entrepreneurial stuff that I want to do.
Okay, that's interesting. That's good. Well, thanks for the interview.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for talking to me.
Very insightful. We hoped you liked that episode. Keeping in mind, we never know who we're going to interview. We post twice a day, 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. GMT. Have you ever considered the future economies to invest in? Why not listen to our sister podcast, Africa Investor Stories? Considering Africa has the fastest growing economies and population on Earth, and has done for many years, it holds 30% of the world's known natural resources. We publish twice a week, Tuesday with a guest investor, and Fridays talking about investment, politics and history, providing a clear understanding for any potential investor.